Mike Jones here with Ken's. It's the end of 2025 going into 2026. This is our best of show. We get to show the stuff that we kind of handpicked as being the coolest of the cool that y'all allow us to do. I can't wait to see it. Of course, there's bloopers. Everybody always talks about me messing up. I love this moment. Check this out. The best of the best, because y'all let us do this and we love it. Check this out.
Georgia's #1 sight and sound source. Go to Ken's.
All right, there are lights, and then there are lights. We do the other ones, the lights. And when I talk about lights, I'm talking about landscape lighting. Over the years, we've gotten into it. This obviously being an absolutely beautiful house, but the lighting was so bad, and so many people will put lighting in front of their home, and it lights up the house. The problem is you walk to the living room, you get blinded, because that is not landscape lighting. That's like a spotlight, which has no place being in front of your gigantic, beautiful house, or even your small house like mine. I have landscape lighting around my house just because I like the beauty of that. Now, this particular home, as you can see in the woods, we take it from the woods, and you take it all the way down, and that blends it with the house so we can come all the way down. To give you an idea, we have over 90 lights at this particular home, and we have over 3,000 foot of cable that we buried into. We had to have all the markings put in the yard to make sure we didn't get into anything, but all that 3,000 foot of wire is inside the ground. That way we can service it later. We have huge power supplies to make sure that all the lights have the same. If you see, like, all of these are equal in their brightness all the way across, but they're not putting giant shadows inside the house. So very important. All right, now back here in what I call absolute paradise. This is amazing. I'm also going to get you to hear their pool system on the next show. But you can see, as we would, you got an entire perimeter wall all the way around. And we kind of did every other column all the way around. Every one of those lights gets exact amount of power. Now, that is one part of the pattern. When I say pattern, we're not trying to light up the entire wall. It's literally just a walkway around the back of this perimeter wall, or safety wall, I should say. We also put in lighting right here by your feet. This is just so you can see the stairs if you're going to come out at nighttime. And those are, we've got 4 of those on each end of this. There's a pathway down on that end. But the blessing of this is, with over 90 of these, they have this huge dispersion of light, of which we can control in many ways. You can do dusk to dawn, like, you know, when these actually flipped on when it started getting dark, and they'll go off when it starts getting bright. You can do it like, you can have it where you put them on a timer, 6 to 9. Mine cut on when it gets dark, but it cuts off about 11:30 at night. You have all these different ways, and you can set up in zones. We have 4 zones of lighting here, so they can choose to light up the front of the house, but only the back of the house when they're really going to have guests over, have a party or something like that. So we decide what your dream is, what the performance is, what the budget is, and then my boys come and do what they do, and bada bing, bada bang, you have paradise. Okay, now, I don't know if you got to see the pre. I did film the pre of this. This is a kind of a barnuminium. I'm sure you've seen the outside of it now. And when they do those barnuminiums, they'll have a huge area downstairs, which can be storage or can be whatever. And then upstairs, there'll be something fun like this. This was just a gigantic empty room with zero. I mean, just a big white empty room, and it was like a canvas for our guys. Now, Kurt, one of our lead technicians, lead installer, he does actually everything. He designed the entire theater with his family. Now, this drop tile ceiling, I'm sure you see in the cutaway of the grid now, had to be in place because that's the pitch of the roof, and we didn't have anywhere to run cabling, right? And we needed to put can lights in. So here's the drop tile we built, and then and we also have a way to put in our speakers. Now, we'll get the speakers in just a second. Screen, 145 inches of screen. Yes, I said 145 inches of screen. You see the size of me and the size of that. That makes sense. Sony's new Laser 5000 series projector, which is 4K, full HD, what you're seeing a cutaway of that right now. Now, clips to the rescue. I love me some clip speakers. He chose to leave the grills off. The gentleman that owns this house says, I like seeing my copper. So here you are. These are called the Clips RP8000s. There's front and rear channels for just that. We have their 5 series center channel and 2 of the new R series 10-inch that put out 1,000 watts each times 2, right? So the 4 towers, the giant center channel, the 2 10s, the 4 what they call Pro Series clips in the ceiling to make a 5.4.2 Atmos. Now, this is set up so very, very good. And I can't tell you about the quality. I can tell you about the quality because I want you to hear the quality. There's this video. I think it's Teddy Swims. Just watch this demo, and I hope you can hear it. Like we hear it. Check this out. You see what I'm saying? I mean, that sound, and that's music. He's a gamer, he likes music, he likes sports. This theater is turnkey, can do anything you want to do. And you heard the quality of that as it moved throughout the room and the subs feeling the bass of his voice. I mean, that's the way it's supposed to be. We did this riser here. You can check this out. This riser allows us to have these 3 chairs up top and the other 3 chairs on the bottom. Yes, we built this riser. We do the carpet. We do the painting. We do the lighting. We do the power. We built the wet bar on the other side of the room. All of that is turnkey through Ken's. Now, how do you make it happen? There's my phone number and there's Kurt's phone number. We will come out and design the theater for you to your needs for performance and your needs for budget. And then we do it and then we service it after the sale. So this 5.4.2 theater, Klipsch, Yamaha, 145-inch screen, Sony laser projector, all in one remote that takes care of all the goodies. And Ken's. This is definitely what we do. All right, slingshots. We do a lot of slingshots, and this is the blessing of this is because they have become so popular, now DS18 and SoundCube and Robert Fosky and all these different companies have gotten very adaptive to what will fit in all the nooks and crannies of a slingshot. This particular slingshot has 16 speakers in it with a tremendous amount of power, over 1,500 watts of power. Now, because of that, we put in 2 lithium batteries. One of those batteries controls the car to crank up the car. The other one controls the sound and all the lighting. We'll get to the lighting in just a second. The blessing of that is I get out there and play it, and people are hanging, and I got my system cranked up. We're going to get to that in a minute, too. And then I can't get to the end where I don't have enough power. There's a battery specifically to get it cranked back up so you get what you got to get. I love it. With about 5,000 lights and everything happening here, again, we got a tremendous amount of speakers. A 10-inch subwoofer here. This is in this peak right here is actually fabricated for the slingshot to hold a 10-inch sub in there. You can do 1 sub or you can do 2 subs. Pioneer's touchscreen radio here called the 3800 series. This guy can do a backup camera with. I can do XM satellite with. It is just amazing how it fits, and then we can trim it out this way. If you have the factory touchscreen and you don't want to mess with that, the one that comes with the Rockford Fosgate, we can use that as well. They make a processor that plugs into that. Now, when you do a vehicle with this many lights and you do a vehicle with this much sound and a vehicle with this many speakers, it takes time. So you bring it here, get with the Brainiacs in the front, you talk about the money, you get with the Brainiacs in the back, you talk about how much custom or how far do you want to go, and then bada bing, bada bang, here we are. All right, so how does it sound? Let me give you this cut over this. The clarity is what you're looking for here. Lots and lots and lots and lots of lots. Lighting-wise, you gotta see the demo. We did a demo with lights on, with lights off. Check this out. You see what I'm about? The blessing is, again, you're riding down the road in basically a 3-wheel motorcycle, so people don't see you unless you have 5,000 LED lights that Ken's installs for you, or you have over 1,500 watts of power with plenty. You see right here, we left the seat out here. There's your amplifiers, one for mids and highs, one for bass, and they are made to be in the heat, the environment, and the rain. End of the day, you've got Slingshot, DS18, SoundCube, Pioneer, Ken's. This is what we do. All right, when you do a swimming pool like this, you have to do a pool house like this. This is incredibly beautiful, and I'm so grateful to be a part of it. So what you're hearing, that clarity, is perfection. That is the new Klipsch speakers called RSMs, which you see here. They're incredible. They have a lifetime warranty. They are made to be out in the elements, just like you're seeing now. As you can tell, they have extreme clarity. They have this kind of width and a lot of bass, which is why you hear it. But because of that, you want to be able to hear it inside here as well. Walk in here with me. Klipsch also now makes a single speaker right here above us in a 3.5 inch that fits in the center. Listen to the clarity of that. That is absolutely incredible. So you have a zone here and a zone out there that gives you where you have for folks in the pool and for folks in the pool house. With that, we put in a monster 75-inch Sony that gives us 4K Sonos amplifier in there. So he can toggle between. I can have this sound there, or I can just have music play it if I just want to see the score. What does it take? Well, while this was being built, we came in and ran all of the cables, got everything in place, and then he called me and said, we are ready Pool House, Sony, and clip speakers, everything controlled from his phone or his iPad, and guess what? It's backed by our on-site service. So again, let's do it again. Perfect pool, perfect pool house, perfect view, perfect tunes, Ken's. This is what we do. All right, we do a lot of courtrooms. So when you're doing a courtroom, you have to have a proper video display. So in the place of projectors in these courtrooms, they did the 100-inch panels, which we do Sony. There's a Samsung NEC. And this is nice, and we have it where we can pull it away from the wall to be able to service it. Another thing you have to do is you have a jury. So I'm gonna back you around here. So this jury, these actual monitors were in place before us. It was just a tad bit of overkill, but it does work well for people to have it on display. The idea is for folks to be able to see evidence, to be able to see video, to be able to see anything that needs to be showed there. It's important. Now, when you have that many monitors and this monitor, plus you have to have judge control up there as well. So this allows the matrix. The matrix allows me to do anything I want. So in regard to that, here's an Elmo. The Elmo is a reflection device. And what you do is if you say you want the Elmo to go to everything, if you tap that, it will show you, see there's my card being seen there. It's also being seen over into the jury area. The blessing of this is I can show a message here and I can show different there. So if evidence needs to be seen there but not up here, I can black that out. I have a way to play it. I even have a way for the judge's PC to show up there, see? And now I can show his, which is his is just showing their crest as well. Then you can also have on the podium PC, I can hit it and it allows me to mirror that image, which is his thing is right there because he's in a software control from this computer. So I have a podium here, I have another one there. So when I get back over into the attorney area, these are hardwired into the floor here that allows this to show as well. And I can go back over and I can just tap into anything I want to do. And you can do this now. The blessing when you go to a piece like this is, let me just pull this back around, is I can put anything I want at any of these monitors I choose from. Now, from an audio standpoint, when you go to the blessing of that is, you'll have a mixer built in, and this allows me to adjust all of my microphones separately. So when I stand here and I talk onto this microphone through these speakers, by the way, all the speakers are flushed into the tile. You'll see up there, nice and clean and simple. Those are the 8-inch versions of it. In the back of the room here, you see we've got a robotic camera. So we've got robotic front and a robotic back. The idea is to be able to zoom in and be able to zoom in and out, whatever you want to do, which they also do from computer control. All of this, everything in here is, I'm gonna flip it around. I'm sure you've seen a cutaway now of the rack that we did. There's a big rack back there that's remote located down the hallway into an IT type area. But the blessing is you have control. The judge has his own spot monitor so he can hear clearly. And it also has what they call a white noise generator. I'm gonna show you that now. If they have to approach the bench to talk to the judge, but you don't want everybody to hear it, you type into your unmute this, and I have control over that. And this allows me, when you have that white noise, to speak up here. And I was up here speaking earlier to one of the folks. You cannot hear it over there because this sends a white noise down the room. When you're done, you just mute that out, and then you can go back to your other channels to adjust your microphone. The blessing of this is backed by our unlimited training, which is a great thing. I'm sure you've seen a cutaway now of Jarvis earlier teaching a bunch of the bailiffs to make sure they had it all locked and loaded before they get everything in place. There's the phone number. This is what we do. You call me, I come out. The estimate is free. We design the system. We figure out what our budget is. Then our guys come and do their thing. We did all of this installation in about 24 hours, and they are up and running and ready to do justice. This is what we do. All right, we do a lot of subdivision cameras, lots of neighborhood cameras. And the blessing of that is, you've seen the ones that we do with the steel post that goes like 12 foot in the air and it has multiple angles on it. And that usually has a license plate reader, a facial recognition, and then it will have a way to see the vehicle, right? But when you have a gated community like this, you do you do individual cameras. So you'll see I got a camera right here. This camera sees the footprint of the vehicle from the second it crosses across the threshold of the gate here. On the other side, we have a tag camera. I'm sure you've seen a cutaway of that now, and that reads the tag when it gets right about 20 feet into the gate. It starts getting your gate. Now, these new AI technology cameras, what they do is it snaps off 6 pictures of the tag and stores that. So every car that comes through this gate, it gets their tag 6 times and stores it, so we get all the different angles. Another thing these things do, and is of course they record 24/7. I had a gentleman come through here that was selling pine straw. There are probably great people out there doing it, but he wasn't selling pine straw. He was stealing packages off of some of the neighborhood front porches. And the idea is, he got a picture of him here. So I got a picture of his face because he was out of his truck. When he got about right here, it took a picture of the name, the fake name, but he actually had his real cell phone number on the side of the truck. And when he got through the other side, the tag camera got his tag. So within just seconds, we had face, truck, tag, phone number. We had everything we needed to have. And from our app, we just downloaded the stuff and gave it to police officers. Now, these cameras are day and night vision. So when there's no light on out here outside of these lanterns, it picks up perfect. If those lanterns weren't working, it switches over to a black and white filter. And again, it records with 0.0 light, or even to 1/10 of a lux, it shows in full color. Let me cut away now and let me show you the app control. It's so amazing. Check this out. All right, this is the grid. As you have the app on your phone, you can also have it on your computer, anything you want it on, as long as you have internet. But these are hardwired, so they record regardless of the internet. Check this out. Now it'll flip over to HD. Look at that view. So here's coming into the subdivision. I get a picture of the camera and it snaps off pictures through AI. This is once it goes through the subdivision, into the subdivision. This is an LPR, a license plate reader, so it takes a tag. I'll show you a cutaway of my own vehicle sitting in front of it. This is when you leave the subdivision, snap, 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 more pictures, and then fluid video of you leaving the video. The idea behind this is you can have that grid to see each camera, or you can see them side by side, and it's recording 24/7. This is awesome. In the security world, we got you. This is what we do. Awesome. All right, we are inside this 1970 Dodge Charger. Absolutely, I just got to take it all in for a second. Woo, daddy. All right, this console was built before, when you picked it up there, Jackson. And this has the tweeter and the mid-range, and you're seeing the cutaway. There's a mid-bass in the back of this console that gives you good feel of sound here. Down in the kick pods, I'm sure you've seen the center down, which is way down here where my feet are. There's a super tweeter, and there's a custom-made grill for the 6.5 that sits behind it, because the 6.5 would stick out too far and would hit the emergency brake on this side, so we actually flushed it into the panel that's behind it, which is super nice. In the rear deck, I'm sure you've seen a cutaway now. Again, there's a lot of cutaways here. It's got 4 6.5s. I actually took a picture of it before we built the back deck. Now, in the rear, we've got the subwoofers in place and a tremendous amount of power. 1,800 watts on bass, 1,200 watts on highs, and I'm going to get to the magic in the trunk in just a second. But we can't do this without showing you this. This is Sony's Mobile ES CD player. This is the nicest sounding Bluetooth high-res audio CD player on the planet Earth. It is unbelievable. It's about a $1,500 retail piece. And if you're saying, ooh, wow, this is what you put in a car that comes from Barrett-Jackson if you want the best possible sound quality you can get. And if you're like me and you're a super nerd, that's the only way to go. If you're ready to go, we're going to do a demo. All right, what you're seeing here is this is a 1970 Dodge Charger now. That's the front camera view. You see the front where our sign is and everything. Then when I put it in reverse, I get my rear camera view. I'm really, really close to that car behind me. Check it out, ready? Front view, back view, and it's still a rear view mirror. Is that not absolutely incredible in this 1970 Dodge Charger? All right, when you come around to the back, this is so good. Look at this. So the subwoofer box is in there. That way you have all the bass firing forward. 1 amplifiers, 2 amplifiers, 3 amplifiers, 4. All these are status. It's the best amplifiers Alpine makes. 2 are committed specifically to mids and highs, and then 1 on each subwoofer. And what we did is we boxed all of this out. I hope you're seeing the cutaway it was before. None of this existed. We boxed all of this out, and it has such a great, I love the fact that they went with these very high-end hinges and how they fit perfectly into the way our guys used all of the tools necessary to make this look like a factory piece. All right, and you notice here, of course you see all the color, but see this pin here. The reason that's important is we put a monster alarm on that, and so as you see with this keypad here, this allows me to lock the doors. Yes, lock the doors on a 1970 Dodge Charger. Unlock the doors. It allows me to remote start the vehicle if to, and you can put a tracker on it, because what you don't want is your Barrett-Jackson Charger in someone else's garage, right? So this covers everything. It has an impact sensor if they try to break the glass. It has a level sensor if they try to jack it up and steal the wheels, and it comes with everything you need built into this. It comes with 2 remote controls, and these security systems have a lifetime warranty on them from Viper. They are the very best they are. So he is protected. He has sound. It's all custom done. I cannot wait for him to get here. And you know what I'm going to say? This is what we do. Awesome. You're actually seeing my church right now. This is Heritage, not my church, it's our church, Heritage Methodist Church on Vineville Avenue. I'm the pastor here, but I've never shown our system as we've redone things every time. It's just really a great setup. Sanctuary speakers at the top you see there, those are actually made for church. It's a version called Sanctuary. And they work wonderfully because this church holds about 160 people and it easily fills it up with just 2. Now we have front panels and a back panel. You'll see a confidence monitor in the rear here. And the idea behind that is this can be 2 things. It can be whatever's the mirror image of what's showing on that slide, or it can also be what they call a confidence monitor, where it's just notes to the pastor and your praise and worship team. On Sunday morning, we'll have our announcements that will run up here. I'm sure you've seen a cutaway of that right now on our Facebook page. And the announcements will run, and then as we do praise and worship, the words to the songs will come up. And then as I go into the sermon and announcements and things like that, it's just so nice because I can put anything I want up there. I love this scripture very much. Podium mic here, that's just nice. That's a fixed microphone. And because we have 2, we have 1 on each side there. These are really nice, anywhere from $200 to $300, depending on which one you buy. Those are very important, especially if a guest speaker come in. I myself, I wear a headpiece, and it's very important. I'm sure you've seen a cutaway of that as well right now. And that gets everything going up here. We have our praise and worship that's behind that wall, and they're all mic'd as well. Another thing you'll see hanging down in that chandelier, that is a congregation microphone. There's 4 of them, and I hung them in the chandeliers so they wouldn't be so obvious. But that picks up your congregational response, my amens, hallelujahs, my announcements, and all that. We are a small church family, and I like to know that everybody's invested. And for our shut-ins, when they're home, they can hear their church family be able to talk. Our booth is set up absolutely. We built the booth as well. We have our own carpenter. And the blessing of this is, with the iPad, I have control of my sound. You see the meters moving from my congregational mics there now. This allows me to turn those up and down, and I can go through different pages of microphones to be able to adjust people separately. I love this part that I can adjust this from anywhere in the sanctuary. Another thing is we have 2 computers, one that does the Pro Presenter, one that does the Facebook. As you see right here's my Facebook page from our Wednesday night Bible study, and this controls all of my graphics, this controls all of my Facebook, and then the Black Magic does all the work, and this monitor shows her what's going on. She can actually zoom in and zoom out from this joystick. And it's a blessing that this can still be a traditional setting, but with the modern niceties of technology. My phone number comes up here. I will come to you no matter what. We do a lot of churches all over the entire state of Georgia. We're actually in South Carolina next week doing some more. And the idea is I will come to you and design the system for you based on the performance and the budget needs. If your church has 65 people in it like ours does, that may be a different than it would be like when we did Northway Church that has 2,000 members in it. So, in other words, it's always the fact that we can supply that need no matter where you're at in your church worship. So here we are at Heritage Methodist Church. We've got audio, we've got video, we have microphones, everything's best of the best. And the installation was done spot on by my men, and we are ready to serve in-house and online. This is what we do. Hey, thank you again. Isn't that awesome? Those are just, we do a lot because y'all allow us to do a lot, but I'm so grateful for the men and women that work for us that do what they do. They are so brilliant and so smart and so educated, and we make sure that they stay educated. And that's important to you when they're in your house or in your car or your motorcycle or your side-by-side or whatever we get to do for your business or cameras or churches and all that. That's what they do. We have a few family members in our fold, if you will, and then we have a whole bunch of what I call our family, the Ken's family, and that's what they do. Now, my brother and I, Kenny, here's our phone number, is going to come up right here. That's what we do. We work for you. You employ us. So whatever you need done, you can call me or my brother, and we will take care of those things and make sure we give you the best possible service we can possibly give you. If you have an issue or something doesn't go perfect, same phone numbers. Just call us and tell us, and we will address it and make it right. That's very, very important for you to know that we will never take for granted what we are allowed to do. Now, we have social media. I've talked about it every year. It's right here. That's how you keep up with us through the stuff that we use, which is going to be YouTube. It's going to be Facebook and Instagram. Very important thing. Lots of really cool pictures and specials and stuff like that. If you're just not that type of person, you say, look, I just want you to come take care of my stuff. That's why my phone number comes up, even again right now, is so that I will come up. The estimates are free. We do all of Georgia, South Carolina, a little bit of Alabama, a little bit of Florida. I'll go as far as we can go to make sure we give you the best possible service. We have 2 stores, one in Macon, 3695 Mercy University Drive, which is right down by the amphitheater, right across the street from there. And then by Home Goods, which is 2040 Watson Boulevard, is our other superstore, which is in Warner Robins. We do what we do because we absolutely, I ran into somebody the other day at one of our church ministry things. He says, you obviously really love your job. I said, I love my job. Outside of Ferrari calling saying, hey, we need a test driver. This is what I choose to do because I love doing what we get to do for you. I'll always end in Scripture. In Scripture, 1 Peter 5 verse 8 says, be sober-minded, be watchful. Your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour. What that means is, yes, we're at the end of 2025, we're opening up in 2026, but don't let your guard down. I tell people all the time, be armored up. It's very easy to find evil in today's world, okay? Be aware. Be armored up. Protect yourself. It says in the scripture also, it says, if I resist the devil, he will flee. And I'm resisting. Stay away from me. Stay away from our family. Stay away from you. Come see us at Ken's and Macon and Warner Robins.
It's my brother Jairus. We may look a little different, but we're really close and really tight. Been family a long time. I love him very much.
The camera's over here.
I did fire him twice, but I let him come back. So just look at it that way.
Fire him twice.
How much did he start out with?
He made $7.25 an hour.
All right, so David, you're going to piece this together. Here we go. The idea. This is our custom car stereo guy that has a ladder, which I don't know why you need a ladder for a car stereo, but there he is right there. There's Joseph. He's one of the best installers I've ever seen. You can reserve these lanes. They have a way to have private, if you want to, what do they call it? Private what? Private parties. So, yep, sorry. Start over. There he goes. That was awesome. We have our on-site boss here. This is Jarvis. Jarvis, what's up, boss? And then we have another guy that thinks he's a boss. That's Justin.
Can I get a cheeseburger with fries?
Wow, what are you doing? Posing? That dude's looking for a man.
And I got.
Mike Jones, here we can. Yeah, should I do my fair voice? Great put together installer people. Thanks to you. Let's get started. What happens is when I have an issue, I just hand it off to him. That's the blessing of having family working in the business. May I help you?
Can you hear me now?
We need to redo that. That's a lot of vacuum cleaner going. My brother Kenny and I own Ken Stereo Junction, one in Macon.
Don't do that ever.
He went, hey, and it's our birthday.
47 years.
And that's what we know.
Don't be a dumb.
Y'all have allowed us to do what we do, and we are so grateful.
Goodness gracious.
Mic check, one mic check. Wait for a school bus. Waiting on a school bus. Hello, school bus. You can buy security cameras hardwired, which I'm about to show you here. You can do. Cut that out, David. It's September already. You're gonna love this, Kenny and me. Kenny and me, we own the stereo store. Remember Kenny? He's the quiet one. Ready? All right, Austin, that is awesome. And you see, ready? So we're doing it again. Yep. Ready? I didn't know he's gonna talk that fast. All right, ready? This is my son Cooper acting like he's working. Cooper, say hello.
To who?
Him, those people.
They're in the camera?
Yeah. This guy that's in the trunk, this dude is doing, a series out of Goodfellas. That is Justin.
Are you dancing right now? Okay, you ready? Wait, what?
Dexter Heath, part of our family. We love him with our heart. Custom installer. He is here to make the world a better place. Dexter Heath. This right here, when you get one of our base packages, it literally can knock the stone off of the, I'm just kidding. Somebody ran into our building, but we're going to get it fixed. Let's move on.